Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Follow Your Path YouTube channel, podcast, the channel that is here to support you on your unique path to unlock your unique badass self that's going to help create a more authentic world because the world's waking up. We know it. We can feel it. Things are changing. We're going through a lot right now, and that's leading you back to yourself. This is an epic time to be alive. No matter what's going on, it's all part of the process. And I'm creating this content and I have this channel to let you know and to ground you back into the truth when you start to get pulled away from your path, when you start to get pulled back into a place of powerlessness or victimhood or anything that would disrupt the knowingness of who you are, that would take you or put you back onto a trajectory of fear. Okay, we're leaving fear behind. We're stepping into truth. We're stepping into a whole new level of well-beingness and authenticity. And I'm here to help in the best way that I can. And to do that, I got an episode today that I believe in my heart you're all going to really enjoy and receive a lot from. This is one that is very near and dear to my heart because it's something that I experienced for many, many years. And I know a lot of people right now are experiencing the same thing. So today's episode, this video is for those who find themselves in a loop. It seems like every day you wake up and it's got this Groundhog Day feeling to it, right? It's like the same shit. It's the same kind of thoughts that are happening. You're seeing things in the same way and you're getting so frustrated by it. You're getting sick of it, right? It's like you're so ready and done with that experience, but yet it keeps happening. Maybe there's like a few different things that come in, maybe some different characters or different ways that things play out. But for the most part, it's the same shit. And let me tell you, you know it deep inside of you. I know it. That's not why we're here. That has nothing to do with why we're here. This is, to me, one of the greatest times to be on earth than has ever occurred before. Yet we're locked into such a small game that we're unconsciously just repeating and playing out, mostly just from a place of survival. So this episode is going to, this is for those who are having that experience. This is going to help you see this through an entirely new lens. And if it's not new, then it's at least going to connect dots that are going to help you to get out of that experience. Because my greatest intention, again, as always, is for all of us to create a super authentic world that feels good, that you wake up passionate and excited, loving yourself. Every day is new. I know what it's like to be locked into that basement where you feel like you have no power. You feel like it's just going to be the same thing. You feel like you're a victim to your circumstances. You look at the outer reality and then you let that inform your story. And therefore you keep creating it again and again. Fuck that. We are all together breaking out of that. We're all walking each other home and that story is getting thrown away. Okay. So let's jump into this thing. This to me is the secret sauce. This is the thing that's not talked about enough. These are, to me, again, from someone who deeply had this experience and spun his tires for many years with this stuff, even though I was on the spiritual path, even though I was learning so much, I was growing and expanding. I definitely hit a point where it was just like, okay, things were piling up as concepts, but yet my reality wasn't changing. And a part of me thought that, well, if I'm learning these things, if I'm taking in this information, then reality should just change, right? No, that's where I got trapped. And I want to make sure that you don't fall into that same trap and waste. It's never a waste, but for me, it was like years of my life that I was in that place. And I went through that so that I could teach these things so that you don't have to do that. Again, that's why I'm here. So let's dive in. So these are the keys to getting out of that loop that you've been in that you don't like. And that is compassion, acceptance, kindness, reparenting yourself. Stay with me here, because if you think those are just kind of these hippie terms I'm throwing out, it's way beyond that. And you're going to see why. So, as we know, we've got two aspects of us. We've got the spirit and we've got the human part, right? We have the body, and the body has these chemical addictions where it's gotten used to the same emotional cocktail day in and day out, right? It's used to us being stressed. So for many of us, it's the body is normalized suffering, right? That's like become its new baseline of settling, surviving. Okay, we're alive. Like this is what we want. And if you start to do anything outside of that, this is where now the alarm bells are going to go off. The amygdala is going to kick in. The ego identity mind's going to make, whoa, 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 what's happening here, right? So what's the thing that we typically do when we have a reality that we don't want? We look at it and we say, I don't like this. This is killing me. I can't take this anymore. You might say, how did I let this happen? Right? Because there is that piece where when you do start taking responsibility for your life, you can get trapped in beating yourself up or shaming yourself because things are the way that they are. And you're like, oh, I created this. Like, I'm a terrible creator. No. Stay with me. So you're saying these things, right? How am I ever going to get out of this? Things are never going to change. I've tried everything. Nothing's worked. So that's the lens that we look through. And then what happens? Our body translates those interpretations, that story in the mind, as stress hormones that then get released. And that obviously feels like shit. That feels not enjoyable. Right. And then through this process, we get locked into our human mind. We go into what I've called on the channel before problem, reaction, solution, which is just a very linear, human, conditioned way of seeing our circumstances, right? Thank you, school. That's a left brain interpretation of stuff, which is a very limited part of ourselves, right? We gotta start to transition to the spirit of things, because when you go into problem, reaction, solution, you lose connection to the higher mind, the you that knows. And you've unknowingly placed yourself in a story of limitation. You look at your creation and you say, God, I hate what I've created. So then the shame kicks in. You feel frustrated. I'm ashamed at what I've created. And now I'm going to beat myself up about it. I'm going to flagellate myself because I don't know what else to do. Or maybe it's not so aggressive and instead you just cry every day. My painting sucks. And then you get locked into the human thinking of, I can't paint something new, or I don't know how to paint something new. And this is actually where people get messed up with acceptance, right? They think acceptance is looking around and seeing what things are, and that they just have to resign to that and take it as it is. This is how it's going to be, and I just have to learn to cope with that and be okay with it. But they leave out the entire rest of the equation. So it's like, you can picture this as you walk into your own museum, right? And you look at the paintings on the wall every day and you say, I hate these paintings. I'm so bored of these paintings. I'm sick of it. And then you stare at them all day with that thought. That painting sucks. And then you go to sleep and you wake up and you head to the museum and you do it all over again without painting anything different. Hello, you are in resistance to your own creation. And you unconsciously, this is why this happens, because it's unconscious, right? You unconsciously go into victim mode, a sense of powerlessness to the circumstances surrounding you. The material world takes your power away. Why? drum roll, because you give it away unknowingly. Why? Because you're locked into human mode. You forget who you are. And that is not a place of power, ever. If you're foregoing your true nature, which is infinite spirit, infinite creator, you're operating, as I've said before, in a very condensed, limited possibility. So you're in resistance to what is. And when you do that, you hold tension around it. I don't accept this. I don't like this. I want you to imagine going on, since we're here, YouTube every day, and you're typing in the same search key over and over and over. The algorithm is going to bring you everything related to that key. What else can it do? When you're in resistance to something, you keep it locked in place. It's like walking into a river and standing in the middle of it protesting. What you resist persists. Say it with me now. If you're listening to this in your car, I don't care, wherever you are, say it with me out loud. What you resist persists. What you resist persists. Sounds more fun in a Southern accent. By the way, this is what we need to do, right? We have to make fun of this stuff. We have to bring an element of fun and play to it so it doesn't have so much gravity and weight. So again, say it out loud and do it in an accent that you've never let yourself try before. You could do it in an Irish accent. That was more Scottish. You could do it in Irish accent, or you could do it in what you resist persists, Southern. Something fun. Let's bring some fun in here. Sometimes I forget to do that, and that's a big part of myself. Okay, so now we've got a more clear picture of what this actually is, why we're looping. We're walking into the museum, our own museum, by the way, and looking at our own paintings and saying these suck, but yet we don't create anything new. And even sometimes when we're going to create something new, the little you human part will come in and be like, I don't know how to paint, but yet you painted these things that are on the wall already. So you do know how to paint, okay? You're an artist. You are an artist. I don't care if you physically paint or whatever it is that you do. You could be an accountant. You could be anyone. You are an artist because your energy, the way that life expresses and flows through you, the colors that you are painting the canvas of reality every single day. So I pray that that lands for you, because that I never considered myself an artist. And now I see, oh, I'm actually an artist that's creating every single day. This is, life is my canvas. What do I want to express of these colors I have onto that? You're an artist. Okay. So remember, the human part of you, it doesn't want to change, right? It wants comfort, convenience, and survival. This is why all of these big companies play into that part. With the processed food, with the entertainment, they pander to that human side of us that is very susceptible to that, of just surviving. I just want to watch my Netflix and binge eat all this food and hopefully not feel my feelings and just forget that I'm living a life that I don't like. So yeah, there's laziness to that human part, right? So I talk about it in other episodes, and I've already mentioned it a little bit, that the left and the right side of the brain. The left side is where we've been stuck. It's the logical side. It only has memory to work with. It looks at reality and circumstances for what they are. And it's like, this is what it is because this is what I'm seeing. And again, totally shutting out your spiritual nature that understands from the higher mind that reality conforms to you. It is an algorithm, and you're the one typing in the search keys. What you pay attention to is what will be given to you. And so if you're not taking time to anchor yourself in your spiritual nature, which is why we do meditation, which is why you get out of the ego identity mind for just like a half hour a day, that practice is going to have massive results for you, because that's going to give you the space that you need, as I've mentioned in, again, other videos, to not get pulled into the stimuli and the old reactions from your old story, from your human part. So the logic, it doesn't know how to do things, right? So it calculates, it problem solves, it relies on past experiences. The way out of this mess, because we all know it sucks to play the powerless game. It sucks to be a slave to your circumstances. You know, if you're watching this, there's something in you that's like, that ain't it. And I got to communicate that to you through this shitty feeling, because I'm letting you know you're not seeing something in truth. It sucks to play that game, to deny your true nature, which is an infinite creator. Say that out loud too. And again, in a funny accent, whatever you want it to be. Could be German, could be Scottish, could be Canadian. I'm an infinite creator, eh? Because you are. Do whatever it is that you need to do to get that through. Don't live another day without realizing that. You are not the human. That's just part of you, small part of you. The limitation game blows. Candyland was cool as a 6-year-old, but as an adult, it's kind of lame. It's elementary, right? But okay, wait. So Candyland is cool. Like, yes, it's Candyland can be fun as an adult, but if you play it every goddamn day, you're gonna hate it eventually. So for this next part of the episode, I'm gonna invite in my friend Truth for this one, because we all could use a little truth. Take this in and hear this. Your creations are perfect. Look at your reality right now. Look at what's around you. And I want you to feel if there's any triggers there when I say what you're seeing is perfect. They are perfect because you created them. And you, my friends, are extensions of God, of all that is, of source, of the universe, which is inherently perfect. Your reality is a perfect correlation to what you've held in your consciousness. For most of us, this is, again, unconscious. We don't realize what's happening. We might think we do. The conscious mind is like 10% of the show. And yet that's who we think we are. So it's like, of course, you have that reality. That's the consciousness that you've had. That's the garden. That's your garden. And it's got a lot of weeds in it. So you still come from the human perspective of, oh, I don't like this. It's a problem. I got to fix it. You just made it a problem. What's the truth here? It's really just something that's happening, right? If someone comes and spray paints FU on my car in the middle of the night, really, what happened? A person came to my house, they took a can of spray paint and they sprayed words on my car, took off, and then the next morning I came out and became aware that those words were on my car. Is that a problem? No. That's just what happened. Now, the way that I want to interpret that and what I make of it will determine. I can look at that scenario and say, this is a problem. How dare they? What? Why did this happen? What kind of person am I where this would happen? Or I could say, wow, I've been thinking about getting a new upgrade for a while for a car, and this is my sign. This is like a gift to get the new car. So you create things to be even more of a problem, and that, my friends, is when the frustration kicks in. Acceptance is the golden key here. You've got to have compassion for that version of you that has been locked into a story where they forgot who the fuck they were. You've got to have compassion for that version of you that had to go Groundhog Day mode for years. so that this version of you could finally get it, could finally have the intuition to watch a video like this and to start picking up the paintbrush, seeing things as they are and creating something new and open up to new possibility. Praise them. They did a great job. That version of you that was playing the limitation game, they did it perfectly. And it's exactly how it had to unfold for you to get here. Okay, so look at your life now, right now. It is actually perfect according to your beliefs and the story that you've been telling. Have compassion for that part that's been suffering tremendously by being stuck in that game. As the spirit, infinite you, be a good parent to your little human who got caught in that. Look at your human like a child, because they mostly are, running off of childhood beliefs and survival strategies. This is so important, ladies and gentlemen. Your inner child is always alive inside of you. And if they're scared and turned off to life and feel like they're doing it alone, you're going to suffer the consequences of that. You need to know you are infinite spirit, and you've got to hold the human part of you with kindness, compassion, love, and patience so that they can start to feel safe, so that your inner child can come out and want to play again, and joy will come back into your life. Okay, so this is the process of evolution that's taking place right now. Spirit you is taking the wheel out of the hands of a traumatized toddler consciousness who was doing the best with what they knew. Okay, that is not going to work anymore. If you're watching this channel, you, my wonderful friend, beautiful soul, are ready to wake the fuck up and step into the next act in the play. For real. Okay, this is why it's an exciting time. You finally got to a place where you're letting truth in. I spun my tires for like 5 years operating in that old consciousness. Like I said earlier, I was reading all the books, I was trying all the different things, yet I was still locked into that old story because I was coming at things from my ego. I thought that should be changing stuff, but yet I was still in that problem, reaction, solution mode. And I was still letting my circumstances dictate my state of being. And then those things would keep reaffirming themselves every day. My logic, I was so stuck on the left side of my brain that was so fixated on the outer reality. It's not going to work anymore. We're evolving, right? I was in resistance mode. I had tension every day. My bank account made me feel limited and stuck. And I was actually deep down afraid of leaving the smallness behind and coming into something so much bigger, because I was afraid of the responsibility of that. If I'm being honest, that felt, to my human part, that felt really overwhelming. And that's who I was identifying as, right? So it's exciting, because when you realize the story that you've been in is perfect, you're not in resistance anymore. You're seeing it for what it's truly been. And then you can move forward. When you're relaxed and you are patient with yourself and you're not holding tension, this is where you have access to the higher mind again. You have access to the imagination instead of being stuck in your logic survival brain. And then you can be neutral and begin the process of, what would I like to choose? What do I prefer? Your buffet just expanded to so many more possibilities. And that's why it always felt so heavy to carry that emotional baggage from the old identity of little me. And this is why I harp on this so much. You cannot operate in the world as little you anymore, me as little Sean. It's just not going to work. If you believed it was true that reality is an algorithm that gives you what you place your attention on, you would intentionally start putting in the things, start searching for the things that you want to experience more of. Yes? Okay. Here we are. Like, I'm here to tell you that's the way it is. Technology mimics consciousness. It is a reflection of it. Why do you think all of the movies are all about the multiverse right now? You see the quantum's become a buzzword. It's everywhere. It's because this is opening up in the human psyche collectively, like the truth of who we are, the multidimensional aspect of ourselves. So if you're frustrated, if you're in resistance, you're going to hate the game. The game is working against you. You've got to make the jump over to big you, capital I, capital yeah, it's the I am consciousness, right? Recognizing that you are an intricate part of all that is, and you play a piece into everything that's unfolding. Compassion, 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 compassion for that small part of you that's been trying to run the show the whole time because it felt like it had to. We're awakening. And you're going to unfold more of that by doing these things. Following your excitement in your heart, listening to those things, despite whatever the outer reality is trying to tell you to do, right? Because when you're in problem, reaction, solution mode, you're going to try to fix everything. You're going to label everything a problem, and you're just going to get more and more of the same. So that and meditation, slowing down, getting out of the grind hustle culture, giving yourself 30 minutes a day to sit in a chair, sit in a comfortable place, and just be the observer and just let yourself be with you. Isn't it crazy? Like, so many people that I work with, they can do incredible things, wild feats of strength and accomplishment and achievement, but they can't sit in a chair for 10 minutes with themselves. I think that's so interesting. And I was once that way. And when that hit me of like, wow, I can't even sit with myself for 15 minutes without squirming and having all these crazy thoughts, because I thought I was the narrator in my head. And then I took it on as a challenge to be like, okay, that's sad that as an adult man, I can't sit in a chair for 15 minutes with myself and just observe what's going on. And that's when I made myself do a 10-day Vipassana, where it's like 10 hours of meditation, sitting with yourself every day, because I needed to have that level of discipline come in. But even then, I didn't understand the utility of meditation, which I'm going to get into on other episodes. And I've talked about, especially in the last one. So go back and watch that if you haven't. That's what I got for today. This one, like I said, so close to my heart, and I hope that you received from it. And I hope that this allows you to start seeing things much differently and to take a breath and just be grateful that you're in a place where this truth could start to permeate within you, and that you're ready. You're in it. This is the next act of your play. Okay, go into your museum and start creating epic new paintings by following that excitement, by realizing you're not in that story from yesterday and the week before and the month before that. I said this also in the last episode. When I popped out of the 9-to-5 reality and saw it for what it was and left that structure, and I was on my own, and all of a sudden I was in infinite possibility, it felt overwhelming, because again, I was coming at it through a lens of fear and little me self. Like, oh my God, I have all this freedom and I can do whatever I want. That's terrifying. So I wanted to avoid those feelings and try to deal with the discomfort that was going on. And that's when I started doing all the vices and all the things. All of it has led me to here, to be able to share this message with you in the way that I hope that I did. That was my intention. So I will see you again very soon. If you received from this, my request I want to make is that you share this with people. Share it with those who you think will resonate or receive from this. Subscribe to the channel. We are just getting started here, folks. We have epic stuff coming on here. As this channel opens and life is pouring through, it's just going to get more and more potent. And I am so psyched to be here with you and to share this journey and to be able to help you follow your path, because I desire a world where people are doing that. I love humanity. I really do. I see the distortions and some of the things that maybe I don't love, but I'm even starting to love that. When people are following their path and they have that light in their eyes, it's just the most epic thing ever. And I want that for all of you. And I want you to know it's right here. It's actually right here. And bless you for stepping onto it and having the courage to do it. That's why you're on this channel. So lots of love, and I will see you again soon.